I remember the last time you had a state of emergency that was called at DOC is when you had 230 officers at DOC at the time. And then this was done many years back where a state of an emergency was called. And now you're at 160. And that's really the opportunity for the governor to call a state of emergency. Has she called in a state of an emergency for DOC yet?
No, ma'am. No, Senator, no.
Wow, okay. So I don't think she thinks that's a big issue if there's no state of an emergency and you're only 160.
Testifying on behalf of the Department of Corrections Acting Warden Major Antoine Uggan tells the Senate Committee on General Government Operations Appropriation Housing that currently from the warden down to the lowest ranking security guard, there are 157 Department of Corrections employees.
Out of that, I have about 8 that are on military deployment. They come back, I think in April or May. I have some that are on medical profiles, limited terms, and things like that.
How many officers would you need optimally to run the Department of Corrections in a perfect world?
In a perfect world, sir, to meet all the standard operating procedures as written and all the different posts and 18 housing units and all the requirements, I would need about 320 officers.
At 50% of the necessary manpower, Bill 227-35, sponsored by Vice Speaker Talina Nelson and co-sponsored by Senator Joe San Augustine and Senator Jose Terlaje, appropriates an additional $500,000 from the unappropriated general fund balance at the end of fiscal year 2019 to the Department of Corrections to conduct a correctional officer recruit cycle for the next 2 fiscal years. And during the public hearing on the measure this afternoon, Major Uggan informs the Guam lawmakers that the Department of Corrections Director has been working with Governor Lou Leon Guerrero, and they are in the process of hiring 44 officers before January. However, multiple incidents outbreak from the jail, and senators question the status of the agency's Special Operations Response Team, or SORT unit.
In the beginning of this administration, due to our shortage of officers, and we lost a few more due to retirement and just transfers and stuff, we've had to disband them. We've had to disband them and put them part of the platoon. So some of them are on transport, some of them are at the other housing units, some are in Agana.
Is it your position, representing management, Acting Warden, that the additional recruits would then translate to reestablishing SORT at the Department of Corrections?
Yes.
Major Uggan says their ultimate goal is to increase training so that more officers would be able to respond in similar or like matters more on their own. And the legislation forms a system for when there is a vacancy, immediately a recruitment process would be in place. Committee Chairman San Augustine concluded the public hearing with announcing a message he had just received from the Office of Finance and Budget, saying the agency is funded for 50 vacancies that are available within the budget. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
DOC and getting folks hired. I'm actually looking forward to